So you're thinking of replacing your heating and air conditioning system. You've jumped on Google, typed in different types of units, prices of an HVAC system. You're not going to find a set price because the truth of the matter is every single house is different and there are tons of different units to choose from. So some common things you might see, the word SEER, S-E-E-R, or stages of a system. Most residential HVAC systems deal with these two things. And the price you're going to pay in terms of the cost of the equipment is going to be determined by how high of a SEER rating and how many stages that system has. Whenever a homeowner calls me for an estimate, I run through this with them. Education is very important. We want the homeowner to understand the differences between SEER ratings and the different stages so that they can make an educated decision on the system that best fits their budget, their comfort levels, and their needs. Okay? So I'm going to run through this now. As of today, we're in 2022. In California, the minimum we can install is a 14 SEER. Now, think of a SEER rating like the miles per gallon to your car. Okay? The higher the SEER rating, the less energy the system consumes to operate. All right? So, for example, if a 14 SEER costs $100 a month to run, you go up in SEER rating, a 16 SEER may cost $80 to $90 a month to run. And homeowners often ask me, well, what is that exact savings going to be? Every house is different. Every homeowner's habits are different. There's no way of putting a set number on that. But you can kind of get an idea when you go up in SEER rating how it's going to save you energy. So in California, the minimum we can put in is a 14 SEER. Most 14 SEER systems are single stage. Okay? Single stage systems are what is typically installed. That's what most homeowners already have. It's very simple to understand. When a single stage system is turned off, it is at 0%, completely turned off. When you turn it on, okay, it's going to turn on straight to 100%. There's nothing in between. So if the thermostat is satisfied, you have your house set at a nice 73 in the summer, system's off, temperature goes up 74, 75, single stage system will kick on straight to 100%. It's going to blast out air out of the vents as fast as it can, 100% speed. The compressor outside is going to run at 100% speed, and it's going to cool the house down until it hits temp and shut off. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. That's what air conditioning has been for a very long time. This is also, if you said, Mario, what is the cheapest system I can afford? It is a 14 SEER system. 14 SEER units are always the lowest priced. Okay? Now, from there, they do make 14 SEER to 16 SEER units that are single stage, depending on brand. Okay? 14 SEER to 16 SEER, single stage systems. Now, going up to the next level, you have two stage. Most two-stage systems fall in the range of 16 to 18 SEER. Okay? Now, a two-stage system is probably exactly what you're thinking. It has two stages. When it's off, it's at 0%. Okay? When you turn it on, it's going to turn on to its first stage. Okay? Depending on the brand, it's different, but typical rule of thumb, about 70% or so. Okay? That's its first stage. So say it's a, not quite a 100-degree day, maybe it's 85 degrees outside, your house is 78, and you want it at 76. You turn it on, it's going to turn on to first stage, which means you're going to have a little bit less airflow, right? A little bit less noise levels. Your compressor is going to run at first stage, and it's going to cool until it gets to its temperature. When it needs the extra power, it will kick on to its second stage, which is 100% power, okay? Now, a lot of homeowners think like they have a booster button, right? They can walk up to the thermostat like NOS, nitrous on a car, like, okay? You can't do that. The system controls itself, right? The thermostat will recognize how big of a temperature difference you have, and then it will determine if it wants to be on first stage or second stage, okay? Now, this is great for energy savings because when it's not middle of summer and you're not dying of heat, it can run on its first stage only using 70% of its power, which is why it's coupled with a higher SEER rating, okay? And those are generally a little bit more expensive. People say, how much more expensive? Well, it depends on the house. Depends on, do you have enough low voltage wiring to operate two-stage, right? Do you have zoning? Do you have more than one thermostat? If so, we have to put a two-stage zone board coupled with two-stage thermostats. So in terms of that general question, how much of a difference? It can range anywhere from $1,500 to up to $3 or $4 grand. I mean, it really just depends on your home. Every house is different, right? So those are those two. Then you finally get into what we call variable speed, okay? Variable speed. Now, variable speed, when it's off, is at 0%, okay? And it can control itself in terms of the fan speed of the air coming out of the vents, the compressor outside, how quickly it's pumping refrigerant, all the way up to 100%, and most of everything in between, okay? So you can have like 30%, 40%, 42%, so on and so forth. These are smart systems. A lot of them are communicating, which means the outdoor unit has a computer that talks to the indoor unit, which has a computer that talks to the thermostat. Your thermostat is reading that temperature all day long, and it is telling the system how much power it needs. On a really hot day, middle of July, it's going to be running close to 100%, but it's going to modulate. As it gets closer to your temperature target, if it's 78 in the house and you want it 70, it's going to bring you more power, and as it gets closer to your target temperature, it's going to ramp itself down, thus saving you energy, saving you money. Less noisy as well. Outdoor units on variable speed units are so quiet. I mean, we install a ton of them, and the homeowners are always just blown away at how quiet they are, especially when it's down at these lower speeds. You actually don't even know it's on unless you walk up to it and look at the fan. So very cool stuff. These typically range anywhere from 18, I've seen some brands get up to 22 SEER, depending on the unit, right? So these ones are obviously your most expensive, and there is a pretty big jump in price from a 16 to an 18, right? Because you're going from two-stage straight to variable speed. Between that single stage and two-stage, there's a price jump, but not as much. In my time being in a HVAC business here in Sacramento, I found that a majority of homeowners either go with the 14 SEER to 16 to 18 SEER, also known as a single stage, or a two-stage. Now, I would advise that you pay more attention to the technology in the systems and how they operate versus the SEER rating, okay? Between a 16.5 SEER and a 17 SEER, that's not really where your focus should be. Your focus should be here, how the system's going to behave, what you can expect when running the system. Oftentimes, I like to ask questions to homeowners before we talk about equipment, find out their needs for the home. How long have you lived there? How long do you plan to live there, right? And that kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking for, because to justify paying the extra money for a two-stage or a variable speed system, you want to be living there for a while, because you're going to recoup that in your energy bills over the years. You're going to get a return on investment. And if you said, Mario, I think I'm just going to sell the house in a couple years, okay, I would probably advise you stick to just a single stage traditional system. Now, with a lot of these units, they all come with 10-year warranties, okay? We offer a 12-year warranty on Mitsubishi variable speed systems, so you can go up to 12 years. But really, the big difference between them is how they're going to behave and what your energy bills look like. So it almost always breaks down to these three categories: single stage, two stage, or variable speed. If you're going to live in the house long term, at least 10 years or more, I would advise you kind of push you towards a two stage or variable speed. Especially if you really, comfort is a big priority for you, you'd like to really dial in that temperature, then you're going to want to stick to closer in here. If you're okay with the system you had for the past 20 years running the way it was, perfectly happy with it, maybe you're going to move out in 5 years, turn it into a rental, you're not sure, then at that point we'll probably talk more about single stage. So I hope this video helped you. If you'd like us to come out and give you an estimate, book online, where we're happy to come out there. We service Sacramento only. But we can go over all of this and see which one fits your needs. Thank you.